Sorry to see the last of you mugs.
Oh, give me a towel, someone. I'm going to burst out crying.
Why, big stiff, you haven't even got a job yet.
No, but I got a letter to the managing director of the National Timber Trust.
Well, I suppose as soon as you walk into the office, he'll say,
Take my seat, Mr. Baldwin.
Get out.
You'll probably get thrown right out on your... Hello. What's this?
You're lucky it's not Davy Jones.
Down! I'm all right. Put me down. Put me down. Thank you. I hope I'll never have to trouble you again, Mr.
I say, Joan, you gave me quite a shock.
This big, strong creature pulled me in.
Oh, much obliged, old man. Not at all. For people who surf, common sense is just as necessary as a bathing costume.
Hold it, please. Not you.
Thank you.
Well, goodbye and thanks. For the wisecracks, too.
Anything to oblige a lady.
Well, perhaps I was a bit careless.
Yes, so are the sharks about their dinner.
Come on, Joe.
Nevertheless, as far as I'm concerned, the sooner you're Mrs. Charles Blake, the better. What's on your mind?
Don't you think he had nice eyes?
Who, the traffic cop or the parking attendant?
No, the chap who fished me out.
I didn't notice he had any.
I say, Joan, what's this I hear about your getting into trouble in the surf?
Now, don't worry yourself, Daddy. It was nothing. I was too tired to swim against the current, so I left the job to one of those big, handsome he-men of the life-saving club. All very simple.
Well, he seems to have made a good job of it, whoever he was.
Oh, yes. And such a nice man. So well-mannered. Common sense is just as necessary as a bathing costume in surfing. He's all out of place at Palm Beach, but he'd probably be a howling success amongst those timber choppers of yours up in the bush.
Yes, maybe he would.
What's that whistling phrase? National Timber Trust. Mr. Jeffrey? There you are. Yes, Mr. Rich. Mr. Darley? Yes, Mr. Rich will see you in a moment. The seat's there. National Timber Trust.
Who do you think's in the running with us for that new dock contract?
Who?
Burbridge.
No.
I learned that his quote is almost identical with ours. He will be present at the meeting of the contract board of the construction company this afternoon.
You ought to have a very jolly meeting.
I wish you'd be serious.
Well, what do you want me to do? Kill him?
You are engaged to marry his daughter, huh? I know, his adopted daughter. Nice picture of Joan.
Yes. I kept out of it.
That fellow Darley is here.
Oh? What does he want?
Send Mr. Darley in, please. I'll do all the talking.
You always do.
Sit down, Darley. This is my partner, Mr. Blake.
I know, Mr. Blake.
How are you, Darley?
We're all right, Mr. Blake.
We have been considering your application for employment with us.
Just a minute. It was you who mentioned the job.
So I did. But on certain conditions.
I can put Burbridge out of business in a couple of months.
How?
That's my business.
If things should go badly with us at the meeting this afternoon, there will be work for you.
And we'll want a pretty good sample.
Don't worry. You'll get your sample. You always do. Righto.
And as far as this contract's concerned, Darley, you say that all the timber on Boundary Ridge is useless.
Yes, I'm sorry I hadn't a better report to make.
If trees are white-handed, it's not your fault.
I'll be traveling back tomorrow, boss.
Good. I'll see you later.
Righto. Good luck.
Everything ready for the construction company's meeting, Tom?
Yes, it's all here.
Thanks.
Sorry, it was my fault.
I'll say.
Can I see Mr. Burbridge? I have a letter for him. Nice day, isn't it?
Yes, it is rather.
We'll see you now.
Oh, thanks. Good afternoon, sir.
Are you James Thornton?
That's right.
I presume you want a job.
Yes.
What are your qualifications?
A certificate for forestry?
Theory or practice?
Theory mostly. I did do 3 years in the bush.
What do you say, Tom?
This you?
Why, yes.
Do you know who this girl is?
No, sir.
Might be room for him on Boundary Ridge, Darley's section.
Yes.
Unsatisfactory timber. Do you think your theories can do any good?
I'll try.
All right. You'll be ranger on Boundary Ridge. That's where Burbridge and Lloyd had their beginnings. Lloyd's dead now. That was his child you saved yesterday. My adopted daughter.
Your daughter? That was a coincidence.
Yes. And a lucky one, too. You sure that your name's Thornton?
Why, of course.
All right. Be there tomorrow and report to Mr. Gavin here. The clerk outside will fix your ticket.
Mr. Burbridge, I'd like to...
Oh, that's all right. Deeds, not words. Thanks for yesterday.
Oh, that's nothing. I'll be glad to do it again.
I hope you won't have to. Well, let's know how you get on.
Thanks, I will.
The position at present is certainly a little involved, but I feel sure we can straighten it out amicably. I want to be as fair as I can, but do you think you can supply the timber, Mr. Burbridge?
My quote should assure you of that.
Now, look here, Burbridge. You may have the timber, but I'll swear you haven't got the transport.
I can get all the transport I want.
I must say, Burbridge, transport means a lot to us. Time is the essence of this contract.
I'm prepared to be penalized for late delivery.
Well, that sounds fair enough. What about splitting the contract?
I don't think I could work in with National.
No good to us. We're a big firm.
Too big.
Well, I'm open to any suggestions.
Well, I've got something.
Well?
What about a little competitive gamble? That is, if Burbridge isn't afraid.
Nothing you can do can scare me.
Explain.
Suppose we agree amongst ourselves that the firm that delivers the first 1,000,000 feet of fresh-cut timber to your yard gets the remainder of the contract.
It's a most unusual procedure.
Well, you asked for suggestions. Of course, I don't want to put too big a strain on Burbridge.
Strain for 1,000,000 feet. If I couldn't deliver that amount of timber before you, I'd make you a present of the business.
You'd sell?
Yes, I'd sell. Draw up an agreement and the race is on.
Well, that settles that. Good afternoon, Mr. Rich. Afternoon, Mr. Blake.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Come along, Tom. You're going north tonight. Well, goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Burbridge. Goodbye. Didn't you see me trying to catch your eye?
I couldn't see anything but that fellow Rich.
We've let ourselves in for it now.
I'll win if I have to carry every stick to the mill on my head.
Well be it! Well be it, you greedy lot of mud! I'm absolutely ashamed of you! Making a fool of me in front of people, eh? You know what a man ought to do? Ought to knock your head off! You greasy-looking mug, you! Oh, look here, Scotty, you short-legged, flap-eared son of a bullock's foot. I tell you, it's my turn.
And I say it's mine.
Come over here. Come here, you son of a... Come here. That's the fella over there. Hey, Scotty.
Hello.
There's a bloke over here wants to see you.
Good day. You, Scotty?
Well, I'm Jock Dalton, but I'm Scotty to my friend.
All right.
You're Thornton and Newton, aren't you?
That's right.
Mr. Garvin told me to look out for you. I've a couple of ponies over here, and I'll see if you get dug out.
Thanks.
1 minute. Trees are like humans. If they like you, all right. If they don't, look out. See what they did for me.
Why, didn't they like you?
They didn't then, but they do now. They'll never harm this one.
There you are.
Track 411. That seems to be the end of that. Is 412 open?
No. If we clear that, it upset all our plans to prevent erosion.
Seem to be tied hand and foot everywhere. 3 weeks gone by and not enough timber at the railhead to make a box of matches. What about 209?
Too big a haul. With our transport, we never get away with it.
Well, that leaves Boundary Ridge.
You know Darley reported against that.
Yes, I know.
That condition to sell if you lose.
We mustn't lose. There must be some way of beating National. How are the men working?
Getting restless. I can't put my finger on what's doing it or who.
National, do you think?
Maybe.
But Blake wouldn't be in it. After all, he's going to marry my daughter. No, it's not National. Jones up here, by the way.
So's young Blake. Got a fancy shack about 5 miles away. Calls it roughing it.
How are the National bunch doing? They got much coming down?
Plenty. Poor stuff, though. Dry, rotten white ash. Logs won't average 500 feet.
Well, that's some comfort. How's young Thornton doing?
Fine. He'll climb, that lad.
When we get in, I'll pick up a horse and take a look at Boundary Ridge myself. That's Boundary Ridge, Joan.
Oh, let's stop for a while, Dad. It's beautiful. Gee, I'm glad I came with you. Those trees look as though they'd never fall.
They'll have to if I'm not going to be forced into selling out.
Maybe you hadn't made that silly bet. Charles said he would have stopped it if he could.
Can't remember him making much effort. You love him, Joan? Enough to marry him?
I don't know, Dad. I seem to have got used to the idea.
A tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair.
Who's that?
Whose bosom
I don't know.
has lain, who intimately lives with rain on the main.
Who can it be?
You wait here, Joan, till I find out. Don't get lost. Come on. Well, Thornton, how do you like your job?
Oh, pretty good, thanks. Just been cleaning up.
May I go inside?
By all means.
This place still has the feel of home about it. Gavin tells me you're doing well.
That's very good of him.
I'll try and find you a better district.
Oh, this place suits me.
If you've got timber knowledge, I don't want it wasted.
What?
The last report I had about this district was that the timber was rotten.
Who put in a report like that?
Darley,
When?
a month ago.
There's something wrong somewhere. Why, this timber's in fine condition. What? I'll guarantee that Boundary Ridge alone carries 7 million feet.
If only that were true.
I'll bet my job on it.
Are you putting your opinion against Darley's?
Not Darley's alone, anybody's.
I'd like to believe it. I can't take risks.
Risk nothing. You've only got Darley's word.
And yours.
I've got thousands of witnesses. Every one of those trees.
All right. Don't bully me.
I'm sorry, but pick any stick you like. And when it's down, if you can find a fault with it, I'll eat my hat. Raw.
Come on, then. Hey, by the way, Joan's here, my daughter.
Oh.
Joan! Joan!
Oh, she's probably down by the creek.
Well, you go and look for her while I look for a suitable bat.
Good.
If you see Darley, tell him I want him at once.
I will.
I had no idea there was another woman for miles.
I'm Claire Darley. My brother's the overseer of this district. You're Joan Burbridge, aren't you?
Yes. Mr. Burbridge is my guardian.
Is it true that... Is it true that you're going to be married?
Well,
Perhaps I shouldn't have asked. I won't mind if you don't tell me.
after all, there's no reason why you shouldn't know. Yes, I'm engaged to Mr. Blake of the National Timber Trust.
Are you happy?
Well, of course. Why?
Oh, you mustn't mind me asking all these questions. We see so very few people here.
It must be very lonely for you. I'm here for another month yet. Come and visit us whenever you like.
Will Mr. Blake be there?
Oh, probably. Why?
Well, I'd like to congratulate him.
That's very kind of you.
Hello, Miss Darley. Oh, you're Miss Burbridge, I believe.
Yes. Were you looking for me?
Yes. Well, Miss Darley, could you tell your brother that the boss wants to see him at once at the log house?
Very well, I will.
Good.
Goodbye, Miss Burbridge.
Goodbye. And don't forget, I'll expect you.
I'll come. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Your father was anxious about you.
And did he send you to look for me, Mr. Thornton?
Yes. How did you know my name was Thornton?
You haven't a very good memory, have you?
Well, usually, yes. Why?
Don't you remember you fished me out of the surf about a month ago?
Oh, I've fished a lot of people out of the surf. Thoughtless people who wander into danger.
I'd never wander into danger, and I'm not thoughtless. If anyone's thoughtless, it's you, forgetting me.
Well, considering last time I saw you, you looked like a drowned rat, I have an excuse.
Oh, Oh, goodbye, Mr. Thornton. I know my way.
I'm going that way, too. Well, time's getting on. You've got to work fast.
Pretty fast worker yourself, aren't you?
Still harping on that. Leave your sister out of it, darling.
I leave my sister out of nothing.
As a topic of conversation, Claire's a very charming subject, but aren't you dwelling on her a little?
Oh, well, go on. What do you want to know?
And what you've done. Item 1.
Well, spread some trouble among the men.
Not enough. Item 2.
Do you want to know something?
Yes.
I put in a crook report on the only area that could supply the timber.
Better, but still not enough. Couldn't you arrange for a few accidents?
Do you want to put me behind the bars?
Oh, I don't mean fatal accidents. The weak spot in Burbridges' outfit is transport. Just think what a plug or two of gelignite would do to a few bridges. Be a long delay right off. All right, you think of something. By the way, what's this little slice of sabotage going to... Oh, well, you've got me. It's yours. But it better be good.
Mr. Burbridge wants you, Fred. It's at the log house.
Hello. Well, I'll fix that, Mr. Blake.
All right. Hello, Claire. Glad to see me.
Charlie, there's something I must say to you. It's important.
Well, not now. I've work to do.
Well, when?
Come up to my place tonight. I'll be waiting for you on the veranda. I have something to tell you, too.
All right.
Till tonight, then. Goodbye.
Yeah, look at that. Ever seen a sweeter bit of timber? 30 tons of the best. She got 10,000 feet.
You say they're all like that?
I'll gamble on it. Here's Dolly. You better ask him.
What is your opinion of this district, Dolly?
No good, boss.
Had any reason to change it?
None.
Thornton here says that every stick in this district's as good as this one.
That's what he thinks.
That's what I know.
Well, of course, I didn't sit at a desk and get a diploma.
It's a pity you didn't. It's cost you your job. From now on, you'll take orders from Thornton.
I'll take orders from no one. I'm fed up with this joint anyway.
That's enough, Dolly. You're out.
That suits me.
Thornton, we dine at 6:30. Come to dinner tonight.
I'll be there.
Come along, Joan.
Bye.
You better get out of here, Dolly, while you're safe.
No, don't worry. I can give you all you want and a bit over. But I've got other plans. I wouldn't spoil that pretty face of yours just now for all the tea in China.
Rosanna, my wonderful Rosanna. To me you are like a beautiful... Too many Rosannas.
The bridge is gone. Wait, wait.
Now don't interrupt. I've told you. When I'm in the mood, Robbie Burns himself couldn't break quick. All right.
I tell you, the bridge is closed.
See, I'll pull you off. I'll pull you before. Why didn't you tell me sooner? A bit further and I'd have lost my job.
After you passed through the university, what gave you the idea of going into forestry?
Oh, I don't know. I always seem to have an urge for timber. Perhaps I inherited it.
Thornton. I don't seem to remember anyone of that name in the trade. But then I don't know everyone.
Dinner served, sir.
You look hot, Rosanna.
Hot? I should say I would look hot, Miss Jones. What was that Robbie sticking his finger into every dish and them two jumping jacks, lumberjacks, you know, whatever it is you call them. I'm so worried. I wonder if there's any dinner at all.
Marry one of them, Rosanna. That'll cure them both.
What is it I came out to tell you again? Oh, my mind's a blank. I can't think of a thing. The dinner, yes, that was it. Did I tell you about the dinner, sir? It's ready. Well, let it get cold, will you? In here.
Well, if you two men are going to talk business, I'm going on to the veranda.
All right, darling. You know, the position's pretty serious, Thornton. In fact, we're facing disaster.
You've got to deliver 1 million feet of timber. Is that right?
Time's the factor. Going hell for leather, we could haul, say, 12 logs a day. I usually work on an average of fell 12 and haul 10.
At that rate, it'd take you about 2 months to get the last log to the mill.
By that time, the place would be in the hands of the National Timber Trust. I'd hate to see that.
So would I. By George, that's an idea.
What is?
Those cards. Have you ever heard of a timber drive?
I've heard of them in Canada.
Well, we can have one here. We can clear that hill like shaving a hog's back. And you start off by half-cutting your trees on the lower level. You gradually work up the slope to the crest of the hill, using your backliners trees as killers. Now, when everything's ready, you drop your killers, and their weight pumping one against the other, I'll clear that hillside inside of 30 seconds, maybe less. They'll come down just like that pack of cards.
That would be terrific. What a spectacle. There's one fly in the ointment. Our cutting time would be more than halved. But how are you going to get the timber to the mills? Hauling's our problem.
Yes, it is, but I think we can beat it. We'll beg, borrow, or steal every tractor we can lay our hands on. With a dozen tractors and a steam hauler, we could clear that area in no time. You could deliver your 1 million feet of timber in 14 days and have 1 million feet in reserve.
Sounds crazy. But I think we can do it. I'll go and get a plan of the ridge. By Jove, Thornton, you've made a new man of me.
Admiring the moonlight?
Yes. Don't you think a forest is a very solemn thing? So much life, and all standing so quietly.
I know the feeling. It sort of brings you closer to your own nature.
Do you feel that too?
Yes.
And the dead trees, like grey ghosts.
I say we're getting a bit sentimental, aren't we?
Do you know, Mr. Thornton, I've learned such a lot about you, and all in a minute.
And I about you. Friends, in spite of all the back chat today?
Friends.
Oh, Thornton, I've got those plans.
Oh, right, I'm coming. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Of course, Jim. Who's there?
It's me, Claire Darley. I want to speak to you urgently. Can I?
Oh, yes, of course. Come up. Sit down, will you?
Now then, there's something I must tell you. You're the only one that can help. It's about Charles. Mr. Blake.
Oh.
It's something I think you should know about Mr. Blake.
Well, what is it then?
Anything more tonight, sir?
No, nothing else, thanks. Good night.
Good night, sir.
That you, Claire?
Yes. But you better put out that light. Someone may see me.
My dear girl, who? The entire bush is asleep. However, there you are. Well, come on. Have a drink? I've made this rather a snifter because although you have something to tell me, I have something to tell you. The fact is, Claire, I'm going to be married. It's been understood for years that I marry Burbridge's adopted daughter, Joan. Oh, she's quite a nice little thing. A bit prudish, hands off and all that sort of thing. Not a bit like you. But still, she's fond of me and, well, I've got to go on with it. Honor and all that rot. Well, what do you say? Well, acting on the assumption that silence means consent, here's congratulations and so forth. I must say, you've taken it jolly well. I expected weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. Well, why don't you say something?
Thank you very much, Mr. Blake, for a most interesting evening. This is yours, I think.
Well, I'm... What does it mean to you, anyhow? You'll get your starvation wages, while he gets the big money and the contract. If you've got the spirit of men in your tall, you'll down tools before it's too late.
What about our wives and kids?
Can't you see the good wicket that you're on? You're bound to win. If he gets this contract, he's got to employ you.
Yeah, and if he doesn't get the contract, we're all out of a job.
I was waiting for that. What about the National Timber Trust next door? Ain't they after this contract too? They want all the men they can get. All you've got to do is to climb over the fence. It's as easy as falling off a log. Burbridge has treated you like a pack of dogs. Are you going to let him get away with it?
Get off that box.
Eh?
Get off that box.
Anybody think you were the boss around here?
I am the boss. Now get down before I knock you down.
This is a free country. I've got as much right.
Talking, Jim.
Listen, men. It's true Burbridge is after this contract. It's true that without you, he can't get it. It's also true the National are after it. Are you going to let them get it?
Why not?
I'll tell you why. We're going to drive Boundary Ridge. We're going to clear 50 acres of timber in 50 seconds.
It's dangerous.
You bet it's dangerous for amateurs, but we're not amateurs. You're men, not kids. You're used to tall timber. Every time you fell at tree, death stands at your elbow. You don't complain about that, do you? Because it's your job. And how have you kept your job? Because Burbridge was the only mill round these parts that kept going during the drought and fires. And now when the time comes that he wants you to help, what am I to tell him? To pack up or are you going to back him? Which is it to be, down tools or work?
We'll give it a go.
That's fine. And now I'll tell you something. I've been instructed to tell you you're all on a 10% bonus. I'm working for Burbridge. You're working for yourselves. Burbridge and Company. You're the company. How's that?
Good night.
Now you're talking.
Now, I don't have to tell you men that the position's serious. 3 timber bridges are down. There was that mysterious fire in the mill last week. And now there's this troublemaker among the men. I hate to think what may happen next. But we're not going to lose our heads. Whoever's doing this isn't going to panic us, understand? Furthermore, we've got to see that there's no interference with the work on the timber drive. Why, if that drive's successful, we win the whole contract. We've got to see that nothing happens to prevent it from being successful. Evans, see that danger flags are placed in position at least 200 yards from the actual danger line. No one must go in there except the men engaged on it.
Righto.
How long before the work's finished, Thornton?
2 days. The bulk of the trees on the slope have been half cut through. There's about 4 acres to go. The cutters will be up to the log house by tomorrow. I'm getting all my stuff and anything else of value out of there by the morning.
And what about transport, Richards?
Okay. I can hire 10 extra tractors. They'll haul from the ridge to Rocky Bend. The flying pox will take the logs from there and dump them at the railhead. Daily average, 60. I've some butts ready now if you'd like to see the routine.
Good. Well, that's all, thanks. You fixed up a place for yourself yet, Thornton?
Not yet.
Better move into the house. We've room for you.
Thanks. I was thinking I'd have to pitch a tent. It'll be goodbye to the old log house when the drive begins. It'll be a darn good place to be out of after tomorrow.
Well, what about this routine?
Those tractors have got to cover some pretty tough country.
Well, let's go and see. Rain coming by the look of it. Yeah. I hope those half-cut trees will stand a squall. Make it a big blow. If we do...
Oh, I think they'll stand anything up to an actual gale. The real danger's lightning. Striking one and bringing the lot down.
We're ready to go now, Mr. Burbridge. You stand clear of it. All right, Richard.
Better stand over here.
Nice work, Dolly. You're beginning to earn your money.
That cable?
I don't know. It's got me beat. It's guaranteed to stand double that weight.
Why, this has been deliberately cut. Look at that.
If I could only get my hands on the man who's doing this, I'd... Who could be doing it? Who'd want to?
What about Dolly?
Dolly? He's got nothing to gain.
Well, there's revenge, for instance.
For getting the sack.
Yep.
Well, I want to see Claire.
No, not you. Claire and I want to have our little talk quite alone.
So now you know where we stand. There's nothing worse than a clever wife. And you've been a little too clever, Claire. You've put me in a most embarrassing position.
What kind of position do you think I'm placed in?
Oh, there was a time when I might have been cajoled into marrying you, but not now. Besides, I'm leaving.
You mean this is our last meeting?
Absolutely. I wouldn't marry you if you were the last woman in the world, which fortunately you're not.
Get out.
So you heard.
I heard. Get out.
Fred.
All right, I'll go. If you're thinking of starting any trouble, just remember that if you do, I shall simply be forced to go to Burbridge, which would mean, at a conservative estimate, 10 years hard labor for you, Mr. Darley. Good morning. Oh, it's started to rain. Don't forget that, Darley. If you're ever in need of a long rest at the government's expense, just start something against me. I'll be glad to do the rest. These your matches? So long.
You'll have to forget him, Claire.
That's the trouble. I can't. Now.
You mean that...
I told you, didn't I?
So that's how it is.
That's how it is.
Blake.
The horses are all right.
Whenever I pick a day for a ride, something always happens. You got a blanket or something?
Why not a suit of pajamas and a dressing gown?
That'll do it.
Well, I'll do this. We'll find them in the next room.
Good. I suppose you've got a choice selection of colors.
A glorious blue.
Hungry?
Rather.
Some bacon?
Yes, we'll call it a late breakfast.
Good.
Who the devil's that? Oh. Hadn't you better,
Just ahead. I wouldn't like you to lose your reputation over me, Mr. Thornton.
Go on, get out.
Oh, it's you, is it?
Well, as far as I know, it is.
May I come in? Got caught in the storm, pretty wet. Smells appetizing. Goodness, what dear little feet you must have.
Put that down.
Say, I hope I haven't called at an awkward moment.
Here. Cut yourself a piece of bacon.
Oh, thanks, I will. You can tell the little lady that I'm discretion itself.
Look here, Blake. If you don't want to be thrown out, you better adopt a different tone.
My dear fellow, if you object to a little light badinage, I'm done. Any eggs, by the way?
No, no caviar either.
No? Oh, too bad. So we meet again, little lady. I had a feeling it was you.
I was caught in the rain.
Oh, yes. No need to explain, really.
You better eat.
Thank you, I will.
Joan?
Thank you, Jim.
You know, really, you two put me in a most embarrassing position.
Why?
Well, a few nights ago, Joan and I were engaged.
Well?
Well, I was hoping for a chance to explain.
The obvious needs no explanation.
Oh, I think you'll find that it does. Supposing your father walked in, wouldn't your, appearance, charming though it is, call for some explanation?
I don't quite get you.
I do.
There you are, you see. Even the boy from the bush catches on.
Have you finished?
Not quite. One more rasher? No?
No.
Oh. Well, then I have. You know, I must say, as a hewer of wood, you do yourself remarkably well. The fat of the land, to say nothing of the, boss's daughter.
Get out.
My dear fellow.
Get out.
What, leave a little lady without a chaperone?
You've got no right here anyway. This is Burbridges' property.
Well, aren't we both trespassing a little on, Burbridges' property?
I think you better go in the next room. And close the door.
Here I say, what are you going to do?
I'm throwing one trespasser off Burbridges' property.
It won't be his property for long. You've had a few setbacks here lately, haven't you?
How do you know that?
I know more than you think. Ask Claire Darley where her brother goes to at night. Ask Claire Darley where she goes to. And ask Joan where she was one night last week. She may tell you.
Now get out while you're safe.
Thanks. I will. Well, I wish her joy. You're probably what she needs.
All right, Joan. All right. I think these are dry now.
Do you want me to go too?
Yes. No. Yes, you must.
Oh.
There's something I want to tell you, but I can't tell you here. I mean, not like that.
Don't you like me like this?
Yes, I love you like that. I love you anyway, but I can't tell you here.
Why not?
Well, it wouldn't be right.
Wouldn't it?
No, it'd be abusing my position as host.
Oh, and you wouldn't do that, would you?
No.
Shall we go outside then?
No.
Come here, you know. Leave it. Leave back, Doc.
Oh, hey! If you want to be in time for the drive, you should have started last night.
Go on, your kittle's on the boil.
Well, I'll hate my eyes for looking at you. I'll see you tomorrow.
It'll take until then to catch me. Get up, you wall-eyed, fat-bellied old heifer, you.
How dare you, good for nothing loafer? You've never done a decent day's work in your life, and you look like a bullock talking to me like that.
Don't mean you, Rosanna. I was talking to the bullocks. You ain't no heifer.
Nah. What do you mean I ain't no heifer? I'll lock you off your wagon, that's what I'll do. Good for...
The new boarders come to sign the register, sir.
Hello, Jim. Welcome.
Seen Joan? Yes, she's out on the veranda. Well, everything's ready for the drive. I told Richards to be ready to let it go at noon.
Every man, woman, and child in the place will be there.
It'll be the greatest thing we've ever done. And I owe it to you.
Oh, forget it. I did my job, that's all.
Seems to me you've done more than your job.
I'd like Burbridges to go on.
It'll last my time, that's all.
Pity you didn't have a son.
Yes. Yes, I've missed that. When a man gets to my age, Jim, he feels he wants to leave more than just money behind him when he goes.
You're a widower, aren't you?
It's a queer thing to say, but I don't know. My wife left me. There, I suppose you've heard the story.
Yes.
I married against my father's wishes. He was a hard man. Thank God I had the guts to defy him. You see, Helen and I loved where my life away in poverty. She left me. When my father's money came to me, I spent every penny of it in trying to find her. You see, when she went away, she was about to become a mother.
I know. She went to New Zealand. Her son was born there. She worked and slaved for him. And when she died...
Then she is dead?
Yes. She saved enough money to enable him to go through a university and qualify for a forestry job. He's got that job now at Burbridges.
You mean?
Are you glad or sorry?
Jim. Why, you're just the kind of son I knew she'd have. You know the truth, Jim. That I didn't desert her. That I've loved her and wanted her all these years.
I know that.
But if you've known all along that I was your father, why didn't you tell me sooner?
Well, I wanted to make good on my own if I could. And I wanted to find out what kind of a man my father was.
Well, do I measure up?
Well, have you two finished yet?
I've got news for you.
I know it. Jim told me.
You've got a brother.
I've got no such thing. But it looks like I'm going to have a husband.
What?
Joe and I are going to be married then.
Jim!
It's all right, Daddy. It means there'll be 3 of us instead of 2, that's all.
This is marvelous. The greatest day of my life. Why,
Mr. Burbridge.
What is it? What's the matter?
Oh, quick, before it's too late. My brother, Mr. Blake. They're at the log house. He'll kill him. Oh, hurry. Please, hurry.
Savannah, John, quick.
Steady, my girl. We're all friends here.
But you don't understand. He'll kill him. They're at the log house.
In the drive.
What are you going to do about Claire?
Oh, so that's it. Why this sudden solicitude for your sister, Darley?
Don't you know?
How should I?
Liar.
You mean there's a universal cure for wounded honor, you know?
I don't want your money.
No? You're a fool, Darley. Money will open the gates of the world. There's nothing you can't do with it.
You'll give me a written promise to marry Claire, or you don't leave this place alive.
So you'd hang for me, eh?
Don't worry. I won't hang. Don't you know where you are? You're in 50 acres of half-cut trees. If one goes, they all go. What chance do you think this place would have? What chance would you have? And when they found you, do you think they'd have to look twice for what had killed you? And I'll tell you something else. I've plugged half a dozen trees out there with gelling night. The drive starts when I want it to start, see? Well, what's funny about it?
You're still a fool, Darley. Do you think I trusted you? Do you think I came into this place unprepared? I brought a friend with me. The drive that could cover me could also cover you. Now give me that key. Give me that key.
I'll get Golly, and you get out of this timber.
Get in there.
Burbridge and Son. Good luck, Jim. Keep the business in the family.